In today's video, I'm going to be researching into certain features of crime thriller trailers on the web. Now, the first trailer I'm going to look at is from one of my personal inspirations, and it is the film American Hustle. Now, I'm just going to play bits of the trailer and sort of analyse them as I go.
I want to show you something. This Rembrandt here. People come from all over the world to see this.
Yeah, he's good, yeah.
It's a fake.
Now, if we have a look at the characters, we can see that they're both in suits, and due to the era that they were, the film was set in, obviously you can tell that the suits differ to the ones used today. Now, the ones in my film I'm going to use are modern suits, which fits into conventions, but also develops it as my film is going to be set in the present day, so obviously I'm going to have to take into account the styles that we see and use today, so that's why the suits are going to be slightly different.
That's impossible.
People believe what they want to believe. Because the guy who made this was so good that it's real to everybody. And who's the master? The painter?
Also, you can hear the music just start to come in. I also like the music because it fits the style of film it is. It's quite a good film, so the music's going to fit the sort of crime style. It's very sort of upbeat, which is not a usual convention of a crime thriller. Personally, I'm not going to use this feature, as I think using a sort of more slower paced yet style music can sort of create suspense, which is sort of what I'm after in terms of audio for my film. Also, this feature here, I'm heavily inspired by the sort of briefcase, money in a briefcase, so I'm definitely going to be including this, and also I think this is sort of, if not one of the most conventional things in the crime thriller genre, just because of the sheer times it's used throughout films. You know, if there's any sort of briefcase shown, you know, it's either going to have files in it that are confidential or money. I mean, whenever I see a briefcase placed on the table, I instantly think, okay, there's going to be a cash deal go down. Also, if we just go back to there, we can see the use of jewellery. Now, I'm definitely going to use this because it can help mirror a character and is very conventional, as you can see. So using jewellery can sort of emphasise the wealth of the character and just give them a bit more, just a few more characteristics to their particular role and maybe what they're like. So this shows that they can spend money on jewellery, so they have that disposable income and are not struggling for money. I'm also going to be including this, as I said earlier, just here's a better shot of it. So as you can see, there's loads of money in terms of dollars right there. I'm going to hopefully include this same feature but with pounds instead. And also here's another shot of jewellery. I'm planning on using a bracelet for my protagonist, a golden bracelet, quite a chunky one, just because I feel that it's just a very typical characteristic of this particular character. And also the briefcase itself is sort of very Gouldy-ish in terms of it's what some criminal businessman would have. It stands out, you know, that here's gold again and gold again. So obviously emphasising gold can maybe just increase the character's sort of personal features.
You never took a quarter from a phone booth. You stole. I just got bigger balls than you.
Also, again, near the end, we see the particular actors that are included and who's directed the film. We also have the release date of it, which is key in a trailer. And I'm definitely going to look at this characteristic just because it is a very well used feature, and I feel that using some of these features will just make my film much better. The second trailer I'm going to be looking at is A Place Beyond the Pines, The Place Beyond the Pines rather. Now this trailer is very different in terms of the American Hustle, but it does come under a crime thriller, so I'm going to be using this as an inspiration, so it can give me some details and just some research of certain features that I can use in mine.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Luke and the Heartthrob.
Is Romina here? Who's that guy?
He's yours.
Welcome to Tommy.
Heard from you in over a year. You just took off.
My son and I should be around him. I wasn't around my dad. Look the way I turned out.
How are you gonna...
Again, we can hear the music in the background. Although it is very silent, there is an overlay of dialogue as well. Now, I do want to mirror this feature as I think it's useful. Instead of having either music constantly playing and it stops for dialogue, I think this sort of maybe ruins the flow in terms of how the trailer plays out. So definitely going to consider having an overlay of dialogue and music. Whether the music can be sort of turned down in terms of volume to allow the dialogue to be heard clearly.
Care of it.
I can't think of another line of work that I'd rather be in.
You're so smart. You can do anything you want. Just don't understand why you're doing this.
I'm a cop, Jeff.
Again, this sort of feature of having a policeman is the total opposite of a gangster, because obviously the gangster is committing crime and the policeman is trying to stop crime. So I think maybe including a policeman in terms of a detective, a private detective, will be a good feature to add, because obviously it allows for conflict to happen between the two characters. Also, it allows me to develop the character in terms of a spy, so making them wear a suit as the same as the criminal, the criminal or the protagonist, will sort of help the character and leave the audience wondering, okay, so is he a cop? Also, in terms of mise en scène and props, I'm planning on using sort of an earpiece, so maybe that can sort of emphasise the character a bit more and allow the audience to know what type of character they are.
Got a kid? You want to provide for that kid? You got to do that using your skill set. And your skill set? Shazam.
Again, we can see the use of a gun being used there. Just there. I'm definitely going to consider using a gun, because obviously, as you can see, it's very conventional in in all films nearly. There is the use of weapons, particularly guns and knives. So using this is definitely going to be conventional and allow me to follow the conventions of a crime thriller.
Shazam. Everybody who wants to live, put your hands in the air.
Again, the use of money, so that's seen widely through crime films.
Tom, it's for me. I'm still his father. I can give him stuff.
Hey, I'm Officer DeLuca. We're here to search your house.
What for?
We're looking for the money that Luke Lanton may or may not have given to you.
14 grand.
The lion's share is going to our hero.
This is your problem. This is our problem, and I'm bringing it to your attention because that's what I should do.
I want to do two in one day.
Get up.
I'm not going to let you bring us both down. There's a way out of this. You're not going to like it.
So as you can see here, we have a quote from a magazine or a particular Entertainment Weekly. So yeah, now adding quotes I think can be quite good, although I think it can sort of take away your attention from what is happening within the trailer. Now I want to have the audience's attention completely and primarily on the trailer itself, so they can get in every bit of detail. And also in general, for these past two trailers, I've seen quite a lot of quick cuts, which is conventional. You don't have long continuous shots, as it's just not conventional. So showing them little bits of different scenes throughout the entirety of the film is good, but I plan on showing them a particular certain scenes from a certain aspect of the film, so it's going to leave them wondering maybe what the character's history is like, how they come to do this sort of section I'm going to be focusing on. Now this is unconventional, but I'm going to challenge the conventions in this aspect because I feel that it would be best for my film trailer.